We're going to be replacing vent pipe flashings. Now, looking at this vent pipe flashing here, you can see that this no caulk portion, this rubber flashing around the top has cracked in multiple places, and that usually occurs when it ages, or sometimes because the manufacturer hasn't put enough UV inhibitors into that rubber. So we're going to be replacing that. The reason we're replacing it is because water could run down this pipe straight down there and leak into the home. And you're not going to know it's leaking, and neither will the homeowner, because the water is inside the walls. But given a long period of time, of course, you can have mold and all kinds of things growing back in there. So we definitely want to replace this. And what we're going to do is we're going to loosen all the nails, or loosen the shingle tabs first. And again, we do this very gently. These are paper thin at this point, so we want to be real careful with them. So there's not much pressure being applied, but we're just loosening them. All right. And we want to remove, on these ones, we want to go a little ways out, removing the nails. So we know we've got a nail there, so I want to get rid of that nail. We've got a nail here, and I want to get rid of that one. We've got a nail underneath there. There's two of them, in fact, but we'll just take out that one. We've got this nail right here. It's always a good idea, if you keep your nails that you're removing, if you don't have a nail gun with you like I've got here, you can always just hand bang these nails and put them back in. And so it's a good idea not to lose them. Ideally, what we want to do is we want to loosen things quite a ways around, because we've got to lift this pipe flashing off of this vent pipe without tearing those shingles. So that's what we're trying to do here. If we lift these up now, we can feel that, yeah, there's some movement there, but there's still also some resistance to these shingles wanting to move. So I may just go and reach the end. That one's already come loose there, but I'm going to see if I can remove that, and that will allow these shingles to move. So we can lift these up and put the new pipe flashing over this and underneath these shingles. All right, so we definitely loosened this up a lot more. All right, so there's the old vent pipe. You can see how the rubber has torn, and look how easily this breaks. There's just not much to this anymore. And you can see how water's intruded into this. So we're removing this and of course replacing it with a new one. We want to put some sealant around this pipe before we put a shingle down. The reason we do that is in case the new pipe flashing we put on has the same problem. So if we look at this pipe, we can see there's a huge hole. There's a lot of flexibility here. There's a big hole. If we put tar around that, the tar is just going to fall through into the attic. So instead, what we do is we get a piece of ice and water shield, and we cut a hole that's going to be real close to the diameter of this pipe. And we know that we're giving the customers a good job. We know that in these little extra details and things that we're doing, we know that this is what sets us apart, what makes us different than using someone else's company. So what I want to do is just do a dry fit. It looks pretty nice and tight. Okay, and I'm going to, whenever you're working with ice and water shield, the gloves come off, so to speak. Okay, and a good way to do this is to take this here and pull it off to below the hole. That gives you an opportunity. Now you don't have to worry about the bottom edge of this. You can take this, you can pull it down, you can lift that up, and now we're in a position, of course, where we can just pull this out we don't want to go below where the shingle, where this is going to be visible. So we want to cut this off about right there. Okay. And then we want to go ahead and install a small bead of tar around this so that we know this pipe never going to leak. Now that we've got the ice and water shield in place, so we're going to take this tar and we're going to put this tar around this pipe. So we're going to seal it here, and again the object of doing this is to make sure that if that rubber seal ever fails for the new customer, that we never have the pipe leak. The other thing to pay careful attention to is you look at this pipe flashing and you'll see there's different marks, different diameter holes that you can cut on this. That over there is a 1.5 inch pipe. So if you read on this over here, right around the edge there, it will tell you what diameter pipe you need to cut this at. The reason that's important is if you don't cut this, there's a lot of pressure if you're putting this over a big pipe, a lot of tension in this rubber, and it will tear eventually. If we cut it to the right diameter, there'll be a little bit of tension, just enough to keep that the water from entering into the home, and that pipe jack will last for years. So again, something that, and when you look at this here, you'll see that it says for 1.5 inch pipes, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to put it straight over that pipe. Okay, so what we want to do, and this is where things really become fun, is we've got all that tar there, and oh my goodness, you don't want to get that on your hands and then go ahead and wipe your face. Okay, so that vent pipe is now in place, and what we're going to do is we're going to nail this vent pipe in place. We're going to grab our nail gun right here, and we're just going to put a few nails in this. All right, to hold that in place. And good thing too that we can do at this point is we can go ahead and cut these shingles. And yeah, you want to take your time and cut them so it looks neat. All right, some water shield around this, and then go ahead and put the last shingle in, and this repair is complete. I'm going to get that ice and water shield ready. As soon as we remove that plastic backing behind on the back end of that ice and water shield, it becomes very, very sticky. And gloves, it'll stick to your gloves or pull your gloves off. Now, because of what we're doing here, we're ready to take the gloves off again. We can roll this around this vent pipe. You'll see now exactly what I mean by that. So we can take it and dry fit it, just like we're doing here. We can put it around, we can check our cut. Okay, we need to cut a little more off. And so if we get it so that we only have to cut one side, that helps. All right, and what we do now is we just pull off this paper. We can stick this down and in place. And then we can come up underneath here and we can just roll this all the way around and just make sure it doesn't move on you. And make sure as well that it goes down nice and flat. Okay. And we've got ice and water shield around there. And that there is going to be a watertight pipe. Even if we have snow and ice building up on this roof and the ice is heavy and thick and it backs up underneath here, even if it goes underneath there, it will not leak into this pipe. So this is a very good detail for any pipe anywhere on the roof. If we look over there on just a little further down, you can see that pipe there is 2 feet away from the roof's edge. And it's essential we do exactly this right there, because otherwise ice could back up underneath that vent pipe flashing underneath this right here and run straight down into this person's home, and they won't know it because it's in the wall, it's inside of the wall. And so this detail is critical. Now we install the shingle.